Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Kel.
I'm Sara.
And obviously the purpose of this podcast is to have a conversation about marriage, about faith, about love, and everything in between. And so today, we're in a different scenario today because different scene. We're in the car, and we're heading to...
Where are we headed, baby?
To the port, because we're going on our anniversary cruise.
Our anniversary cruise!
Yeah. It's going to be 7 days with Royal Caribbean, and we got excited. We actually got the deal on Black Friday, and we just hopped on the deal. We're also going with another couple who's
also celebrating their anniversary.
Yeah.
Same month of March. We extended this invitation to many couples.
Yeah. But
that are celebrating their anniversaries in March. Well, we did it intentionally so that we can all celebrate together.
Right.
And only one couple was able to do the trip, which is okay. We're okay with that, and we're excited. I'm a little nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous because this is the first time we leave our children for that long, 7 days.
Oh, that's true.
That's a long time. So I'm excited, nervous, but I can't wait. I can't wait to just enjoy. It's so important for us to spend time together, right?
Yeah, it's important to, take that time out with your spouse, with no kids, and just go away, do something like that on your anniversary, and don't take the kids, because I know some couples do that, and but really dedicate that time to find childcare, do whatever possible to take that time to be together, because in the end, you guys are one. God unites you guys, and you want to always make time for each other on a monthly basis, so so we're going on our cruise. We're excited.
On the cruise, we're on our way to go park our car to get on.
Yeah, we gotta go park the car, and then we gotta
go to
We're
Jersey.
leaving out
of Jersey. First time leaving out of Jersey.
Yeah,
we usually fly to Miami.
Yeah, but I think it's better.
Excited.
It's a better way. It's a better way.
Yeah, because last year we were going on a cruise too, which it was only going to be for 4 days.
Yeah.
And we missed
the boat.
The boat left us because our flight did not arrive on time. It was delays. It was a mess. It was really bad. And our ship left us, and we never got to the cruise. But my husband still made it a great anniversary out of it. He surprised me with a resort in DR. So we went to the motherland.
Yes.
And we also had a great time. It was great.
Yeah. It was good. So we decided, hey, let's take a trip local. Let's see if they got any trips local. Let's go to Jersey. And let's see if they got in New York. Because flying out, you really gotta prepare. They really do say fly out the day before, because you don't know what can happen.
We were at the airport at 7 a.m. We were on our flight at 7:20. We were on the flight, but the president was shut down Miami basically, and there was Air Force One was passing, I think it was, and then they shut it down. So whatever.
Facts.
But today's a new day, and we are on our way, and we're super stoked and excited, and it's gonna be great. I mean, I do believe that we can take family trips with our children.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you need to make that time for your significant other. Definitely.
Yeah. You gotta make time for your partner.
It's important.
And to the men, I encourage the men, take time. Plan the dates, plan the outings, take care of the child care. And surprise her. Do it like that. Surprise her. She'll love it. Typically women love surprises, and that's a romantic gesture. Take charge, be the leader. Say randomly, hey babe, get ready on Friday. Ponte linda. Get pretty.
Ponte linda madura.
And we're going out. Don't worry where we're going, because sometimes women want to know, oh, where we going, and just get beautiful and
get ready.
Get ready, head out. So. Encouragement to my men, do that.
And for my women, allow that. Receive that attention and love and surprise. I know it's uncomfortable because we're planners and we want to get outfits ready, but I've definitely learned to just let that go and be present. I wasn't caring when my husband has surprised me in the past. I haven't cared about what I was gonna wear. I just literally just pack everything and go and then figure it out when I'm there. And it's worked. Like it's definitely worked, right, babe?
Yeah.
It's definitely worked because I'm just not focused on what I'm gonna wear and what's gonna be in this and that. And given our last trip to Miami, we literally I was only allowed to take a backpack.
Oh yeah, we only said bring a backpack.
And I literally packed everything in that backpack. I was so impressed. I was so proud of myself.
Good job, man.
I did a good job that day.
Good.
I did. Today's a different story. Today I have a whole maleta, a whole suitcase, large suitcase. It's because, it's 7 days.
Yeah.
7 days is 7 days.
7 days, 7 days.
So.
You think it's too much?
Absolutely not. I'm excited. You know, I think that's perfect. You're the one more that like 7 days on a ship. But I'm excited. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to take it in.
I'm already expecting in my head, I'm gonna gain 10 pounds.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing about cruises, right?
The unlimited food and
it's the unlimited drinking and food, and it's just you gain weight. I usually juice before I go,
right?
Because I get to lose some weight and then I gain it back, and I'm the same weight that I come in. So that's a key thing for those that are thinking about going on cruises. Try to juice before you come back, before you leave on your cruise. Lose the weight you want to lose so that you can gain it on your cruise.
Right.
But today, I think it's important. I think that what we're going to talk a little bit about is what effects does divorce have on couples and their children, and even their families. I think the extended families also are affected by that, right?
Right. No,
What do you think about divorce?
No, divorce it's a subject where it's like, man, you're tearing apart a family, and that family dynamic when it happens it gets broken. And no, divorce is like a second death, they say, right? Like it's like living, because it's hard, two partners especially who've been together, years, and just tearing apart, and justfully so, if there's like infidelity or or something like that, you can get a divorce. But if it's like, I know, like for us, I'm like, you my ride or die, and I'm not. Obviously, we have our boundaries, like we've shared stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, but I think that also for us, I mean, we've been there. We've been at the point where we're like, yo, we want to call it quits. We felt
like we wanted to call it quits. But divorce is a nasty. I don't want to get no divorce, So and I don't give opportunity for like moments that would allow divorce to happen, in my end, to give opportunity to like entertain women, or conversations like that would spark divorce, and it's funny. There's a stat for that 80% of divorces are filed by women. So it's like, what does that say? Like typically, like women are the ones that typically approach the subject with like, nah, I want a divorce.
Right.
And because they would voice their opinion, and men typically they just crawl into their caves and they don't want to talk about it. But yeah, man, babe, what do you feel about divorce?
I mean, I don't think that I would not get married thinking that I would ever get divorced. I don't think anybody does, right?
Nobody does it.
I don't think anyone is thinking that, but I don't believe, at least in my marriage, divorce is an option.
Right. But that's what marriage is. It's a commitment.
Absolutely. But with that being said, we have definitely been in our dark spot in life, once at least, where we both were like, we're gonna call this quits. Like it's just, we were in a dark place.
Yeah, I remember even like thinking in my head, like even looking for lawyers. Right. Like to like just separate what's gonna happen. Like thinking ahead and like, our
house, the children.
Yeah. And it wasn't even infidelity between us or anything like that. It was like, because how sometimes you clash so much that you're angry and upset, and it was
so much. It was just so much building up on that.
Intensity.
We weren't happy. We felt like we were not happy, and we were fighting and
all the
disagreeing. Every second of the day, it was just really, really, really toxic. It was really And it was just, and also this was a time around where we were in the car 24/7 with each other.
Yeah.
Constantly.
You know what adds to that? I think what added to that, we weren't sleeping.
Right.
We sleeping like 4 hours a day every day. Every day for like a year and change. Every day, 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
That builds up, and you get angry. When you don't get rest.
It was really definitely a dark place in my life. I was already like, during that time, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to introduce another male to my kids. How am I going to do that eventually when I want to start dating?
Right.
Like, it was going to be it was a lot. It was a lot. You want to share a little bit about when you took...
Go ahead, sure, babe.
So there was during that dark time, we were literally calling it quits. And the argument the argument was something so dumb.
So petty.
So petty.
Wasn't it about like aguacate?
I don't even know, baby.
It was like, you stole my avocado from the fridge.
No, wasn't it the radio?
Oh, it started with, it trickled up to
the radio was what started it, and then everything else just kept on going. Every little thing was a problem. So we were riding in the car, and I think I was listening to something, and my husband has this habit that if he doesn't like the music,
I just switch the
he
song.
just switches the song. He doesn't say, yo, I'm gonna switch it, or he gives you a fair warning. He just switches it. Like, it's only him in the car. I was already aggy and aggravated or whatever, not sleep deprived, pregnant. I wasn't pregnant at that time, though.
No.
I wasn't pregnant at that time, but just having the kids, and it's a lot. It's a lot to take in when you have a large family, small kids, working full time. It's a lot. And I remember he went to change the radio, and I smacked his hand.
You smacked my hand.
And he flung
My reaction was like, yo,
and I took it as he was trying to hit me. And being extra, guys.
It was a shoving match.
It was a shoving match
in the car. And we're like, what the heck? And it's like, you really getting physical? And then we started arguing, like, about
us not being together.
This is not working.
This is not working. We're tired of this. And when you're upset, this is why I say what I'm working on right now is my reaction and what I say, because I do believe that you have authority when you speak. And so
your words have power. Yeah,
your words have power. And I'm such a assertive person. I'm very clear with my boundaries, but I can also come across very strong.
You be cutting heads off, right?
I shoot to kill. When I argue, I shoot to kill.
No,
I'm just saying.
You low blow.
You're right. I'm not saying no. You're right. And so that argument, we argued so bad, and I'm like, I'm done with this. This is it. And my husband, he told me
in the house.
We got to the house, and it kept on going. And he's like, you know what? I'm done with this. Give me my rings back. And that, guys, crushed me. Because my husband usually, I'm the more loud and argumentative one. My husband is very passive. Like he has his moments, but he's the more one that keeps us grounded. And so for me to see him at that point of saying, well, give me my rings back, I took off those rings and I was like, never again. I was distraught. I cried every night. I cried. Look, I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. It was tough. It was tough, guys. Like, that was a hard blow for me. And I told myself, I said, wow, this is what we've come to. And then I remember crying in the bathroom and saying, over radio, over music, we allowed this to happen. And
but I think it trickled.
It was everything that was happening.
It built it up, to the point where,
I mean, we weren't having sex anymore. We weren't intimate. It was like, it got really dark, guys. Dark. But I think, one thing I think is that
we had friends to fall back on. We had friends to fall back on, yeah. We
had friends that we fell back on. We had friends that we were able to reach out to and be like, we are having this problem. And not just any friends, guys. We had friends that are also Christian believers, are also believers and have been with us since the beginning.
Right.
You know, and they actually talked to us and individually. We didn't meet with them together.
Because they were like our mentors,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Our leaders at
they were our leaders, our
church
mentors.
leaders, yeah.
They were our padrinos in our wedding.
Yeah.
So someone that is real and to tell us like, no, you're wrong, and
right.
not afraid to tell us that we're wrong. But also weren't telling us like, no, you can't get divorced. They were really listening to what we had to say and really bringing us back to God's purpose, reminding us of that, praying with us, you know, were there with us. So I thank them for that. I thank them for that. And so that's another thing to be wise about. Who are you sharing those moments with?
Right.
Like, who are you disclosing them to? Because it's not healthy to say that to a single friend.
Yeah, you're not talking
like, why are you talking to your single friends?
To your single friends.
They don't know what it is to be married. They don't know the struggle. You know what I mean?
You want someone who has been through the trenches a little like you. You know, like you. Someone like you.
Yep. And then after that, I remember after that, it was like we came back. I mean, out of that, Yela came out.
We had a baby. No.
I want to say that after that happened, my husband asked me for forgiveness. I asked him for forgiveness. We worked things out. I mean, it wasn't perfect after that.
Right.
That tension was still there. I could say for myself, I was very scared of what was going to happen, if it was even going to work after that. Because once you cross that boundary, that line, it's very hard to bounce back from that. That trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Like I still cry over it now because it was a moment of my life that it was very sad.
Right.
It was a sad moment.
I was already. I was literally talking to lawyers. Like I was like committed to it. You know. But yeah, I spoke with our mentors, our friends. You know, and they clear the air. You know, like hey, God's purpose is bigger than you guys. You know, sometimes you guys bicker and fight, and it's bigger than that. God has a bigger purpose in you guys than that. And don't let a petty fight, you know, don't let your ego be the person, be the decision to end a marriage. And yeah, it built up, you know, it really built up, you know, frustration with the children and you know, the busyness of life, working, not sleeping, you know, picking up extra work as a man, and it's like that all builds up.
The stress of the finances, it's just everything builds up for both ends. And so you're feeling stressed, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling stressed, you're feeling stressed.
And it's a cycle.
It's just a cycle. Like it's a cycle. That's why it's so important that I can't stress it enough. Like I don't know how couples that don't have God are doing it. And if you're doing it, you don't have God, kudos to you. God bless your marriage. But I wouldn't be able to do it without God.
Right.
Because, like my husband said, he was looking for lawyers already. I mean, I was like, oh my God, where am I going to take all my kids with me? Like, what's going to happen? How am I going to do this by myself? Like, I was just thinking the worst of the worst. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to be another statistic for my children. Like, they're not going to have a two-family home anymore. You know, they're going to recognize that one parent is out of the home. And I came from that. I wouldn't want them for that. You know what I mean? Like, everything was just, it was very, very sad. Very sad. But that's just to show that divorce affects everybody. Yeah. It affects your children. It affects your family dynamic. I mean, your extended family, right? Like my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, your mother-in-law, your sister. You know what I mean? Like it affects everybody. Yeah, it affects everybody in your circle. Yeah. And you gotta, in a relationship, you gotta make it work. You know, you gotta date your partner. You gotta, it's like a plant. As a man, as a plant, you need to water your flower. You know, you need to invest in your marriage. You know, make time, be humble, find ways to, you know, serve your partner. You know, to be a better husband. Don't look at the partner to change. You know, you should change. I think it's so important, babe, that I think that for many women and Christian women, and mostly I would say too, is that intimacy, that sex is very important. And I think that that's a way of you serving as well.
Right.
And
even if you don't feel like
I think that you don't sometimes, and I'm gonna be honest, like sometimes I have not felt like it after having children. It's hard. It's hard for a woman because you don't feel as sexy. You don't feel as wanted. You don't feel as, like in that. It's just not. And that's for me personally. That's not everybody. Many could be different, but I'm being transparent. For me, it's taken me work. Like I was much more sexual before having children than after having children.
Right.
Also, it's just I'm tired.
Right.
I'm just tired. Like I want to be, and then I'm like locking out. But being intentional with it. Like I know, just a few weeks ago, I asked my husband, like, how can I love you more? Right? Randomly, just randomly. Like, what do I need? What do you need from me to show you more love? And I thought it was important for me to understand that because I feel like I can guess what it is, but I want to be clear. Like, what does my husband want to tell me that he is going to make him feel more love from me?
And what I said, let's be intimate at least.
More. He says more intimacy at least once a week.
Once a week, intimacy.
At least once a week.
You gotta.
And I've been on it.
You gotta ride this horse at least once a week.
Wow, baby, we say that. And then, what was the other thing?
Oh, your tone.
My tone.
Like, talk to me soft.
I have to say my conversation. My tone. Talk to him soft.
It's not what you say. It's how you say.
It's how you say. And I've been careful. I've been intentional.
And if you like, hey, baby.
Mi amor, yo necesito que tú me saques la basura.
Yeah, babe, can you do this for me? I'm like,
rather than, why haven't you taken out the garbage, my man? Like, what's up?
Like, talking to me like I'm a thug. Like, talk
but
to
those
me.
are things that I want to know because I want to work on those things. You know what I mean? I definitely think that intimacy with your partner is important, and I've been intentional with that because I'm like, I want my husband to know that I want him without me just saying it with my actions. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. So I think those two, just starting with that, those two things, it's important to a man. I think I'm speaking for other men too. Like, men, if your man is getting, intimacy at least. I say one. Some men are different, but once a week, and then if you as the female are like not nagging him and like talk to him tone nicely, slow, whatever you need. Hey babe, can you throw out the trash? Like, can you pick up so and so from school? Do the home. Yeah, when you talk to them, if you come too aggressive, the man is gonna meet you with that same energy, and it's like, but
I think that's important, women. Ladies, ask your man. Be intentional. Ask him, what is it that he wants to feel more love, more peace with you? You may think you know, but you don't. Like, for me, I thought my husband would be like, maybe, I don't know. I didn't even think to see more food on every day. Like, I don't cook every day, guys. I cook for the week, and I leave it there. And my husband, one thing I love about my husband is that he does not care to reheat food. He eats reheated food. He does not care. I know there's men that no, they need fresh food every day. But I hit the lottery with my husband, and he's okay with having reheated food. So that's not an issue for us. But be intentional. Be intentional to work on you and work on your relationship with your husband, and ask him what is it that you need more love. I know he wasn't expecting me to ask him that because he was like,
yeah, he threw me off.
What are you asking that for? It was just random.
Right. Yeah. But divorce is and also when it comes to divorce, even the topic, I would say in relationships, don't threaten separation.
Yeah, we never did that though.
No, but the conversation will come up, so will be like trigger conversations that would be like,
yes. What if
so why are you with me?
Right.
So if
you don't like that, then why are you with me?
Or
those comments,
or when you say comments like, then if you don't want to be in this relationship, then leave. Like, you're already threatening the separation.
Yes, you're right. And you're right.
Even though you don't mean it, because some women or men don't mean it, they're gonna take that line with them. They're like, oh, word? I bet.
And I think that comes from past trauma too, and not fully giving. I'm a true believer. Like, we, at least for us as serving God, we give it all to God.
Yeah.
And maybe those are areas that come back up, and then it's like, yo, did I really just give this all to God, or am I bringing it? You have to be mature enough and know enough that if you give it to God, that doesn't belong to you anymore, and you have to move on. Like, entrégaselo, like really, really give it all upon God and move forward. Because I definitely can say in the past those were arguments that we've had before. It's like, if you don't like that and that bothers you so much for me, then why are you with me?
Right.
Not knowing that that's triggering, and you're clearly not saying divorce, but we're married. What's the next thing if we're not together?
Yeah. No, threatening divorce
Divorce
can cause divorce because you're threatening the relationship, and I don't think relationships that have those conversations.
You're right.
Yeah, don't threaten divorce.
You're right.
Even the topic in hand, talk about, and for men, the objective of a man in the relationship is to bring unity between you and your partner, right? So you have to be the one to be humble and lead the relationship. So even my men, don't bring up those topics. Bring unity. You are the leader.
Absolutely. I mean, given marriage, and I tell everybody, I'm like, marriage is work. It's work, but I enjoy this work because I do it along someone that I am in love with, someone that I love and I chose to love. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely not where I was at when we were in that dark cloud at that time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I was not in that place. We were not there. Sexually, we were not happy. Physically, in every aspect of our marriage, we were not happy.
Right.
But
you know what?
We have to be intentional. We have to be intentional to make sure that those areas are taken care of. And I know that for many women, it can be, once we're married, we're comfortable. We're no longer, and I think that that's where it gets lost at in transition. Like, continue to get dressed. Continue to look beautiful. You know what I mean? Continue to do things that make you good. Like, one thing for me is my nails and my toes always have to be done, and that's something that my husband, that's another topic, but my husband is like, there's too much money for that, but that makes me feel beautiful. That makes me feel comfortable. That makes me want to get dressed. It just gives me that for me. And it's like, women, do what makes you happy. If it makes you happy that you need to go to the gym, go to the gym. Make sure that you're healthy, in every aspect of your life. For our Christian viewers, is every aspect of your life should be what God wants for you, which means your health, your weight, your every aspect. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't just be like only this area and everything else is like not aligned with Christ.
Right. Yeah, God calls us to grow and not to stay the same.
Absolutely.
So we gotta do those efforts.
It's important. It's definitely important to do. But I think that those topics and knowing, and it's not that we're not acknowledging that divorce exists. It's not that. We know that divorce exists. It happens. We're not saying that. What we're saying is, what are you doing to make sure it doesn't happen?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, after that, we went to therapy.
Right.
We
Yeah.
seeked professional help.
Right.
We never, and this is, I was always, I always pushed my husband. I didn't want to get help from our church. Our church could have helped us.
Yeah.
Definitely could have helped us.
But I wanted an outside perspective.
Neutral perspective.
That's not biased.
Exactly.
And they know us, so you can make it, it's always good to have an outside perspective.
Right.
From outside in,
And we continue to the therapy. I know I got individual therapy. My husband got individual therapy.
I still take.
My husband still takes therapy.
Just therapy in general, because
therapy's not bad. Therapy is
healthy.
Therapy is very healthy, and not only that, you go to therapy not because you have a problem. You're going to therapy so that there is no problem. You know what I mean? And I think that's the important part. You shouldn't look at help because there is a problem. You shouldn't have to talk to people because there's problems. Talk to them before you get to that problem. Before that problem exists, you want to be able to air that stuff out and be able, because hurt people. And therapy does not mean that you are crazy like this. the stigma behind it is no longer. I feel like more people are open to therapy now.
Right.
But I think that stigma of a Christian seeking therapy is it's not always looked upon.
Right.
But I encourage couples, go to marriage counseling, go to marriage therapy, speak to people that you trust.
Yeah. Find a mentor.
Find a mentor in your relationship,
Mm-hmm.
Put it out in the open. What's really happening. Marriages, don't believe the hype. Social media. We in social media, and I say we because I use social media, I show you what I want you to see. I'm not showing you everything I don't want you to see. You know what I mean? So marriage is not always a fairy tale. It is work, and it's what you put in it. Your marriage will be what you put in it.
Right. And it's a beautiful road up ahead too. Like things will get better. I encourage you. Things will get better. Things you will see the green on the other side. It's like there's two lives, and you're uniting. You have two lives, and coming to be one, because you guys, it takes time and years, and over time there's friction. And that friction, you guys to start learning about each other and who you are and your habits and where you disagree, and even philosophies and so all that. But becoming one, it takes friction, and when you guys are aligned together, you start walking in God's purpose over your life, and it's clearer. And it's not all about the marriage; it's about God's purpose for us.
Absolutely.
But in that oneness together, it takes time to work at it. So I encourage you, don't give up, don't give in, And be wise. Be wise who are your friends you have around you.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And who are your friends that stick around? And it's okay. It doesn't mean that you love those friends less. I've lost many friends in my marriage, getting married, from when I was engaged to when I got married to where I'm at today. I have a different circle of friends, because some of my friends are not in the same. We're not at the time in the same stage that I was at.
Yeah, we're in different
growing.
seasons.
Yeah, I was in a different season and growing. And not to say that I don't love my friends. I love them.
Right.
Love them. But I had to, and it was hard for me to see that happen. That change of season for me was very difficult. But I was okay with it. It just shows that I was growing.
Right.
And so I was in a different season of my life. And I was okay with that. And
people are going to be in different seasons of your life over time. There's people you used to spend an hour with, and now you're going to spend a minute a week with now, or less. Like, you're not going to be, when you grow up and you become married, from single to married to an older stage in life, you're in different seasons, and not everyone is always going to be in the same season as your life. So don't something like that crazy. Crazy. Some guy just zooming by. Don't know how to drive. But yeah. But no.
Different seasons, and it's okay. It's okay. I just think that you have. I think what works for us is that, one, we've always kept God first in our life. One is that so you can cut it off and bring it back. 5, 4, 3, 2. One is that we've always kept God as the foundation in our lives, in our marriage. Even in those dark moments, we definitely understood, even though it was cloudy.
Right.
We understood, and that's what helped us fall back to knowing God is number one.
God is number one.
And when you have a solid foundation, imagine you're building a building and you have clay, and you start building. The higher you get, once you get to a certain, it's just gonna fall. And that's how I see relationships and marriages. Like, if you don't have that solid foundation, it's not gonna work.
Right.
No matter how much you pour into it,
right,
it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? And so for us, having God as the foundation, having God as number one, has definitely worked in our lives in every aspect. From changing careers to looking for change to even doing this podcast, making sure that we are knowing the purpose behind it and what's going on.
Ask you that. Yeah, you got to ask yourself, what is the foundation you're building upon? So no, babe. No, guys, if what we've said resonates with you and you relate to what we've shared, subscribe to our channel, show us love, and share this message to someone else if you feel it would resonate with them too. Thank you for watching this long and this different scenario that we're in.
We changed it up today.
Switching it up. And no, guys, we love you. Thank you for coming through.
We love
Subscribe,
you guys.
give
we're
us.
We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. Please, please, please follow us. Follow our YouTube channel, Married Life Podcast. Subscribe, share, and we love you. Peace and love, guys.
Peace.